If you've spent an evening scrolling through endless listings, watching video after video, and still feel stuck wondering whether a cordless robotic pool cleaner actually lives up to the hype, this review is here to cut through the noise. I've looked at the specs, read the handful of reviews that exist, and thought through what a typical backyard pool owner actually needs day to day. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Most of us get to the point where we're tired of manually dragging a hose around the pool, but we also don't want to drop a few $100s on a robot that sits in the corner half-heartedly scrubbing and then quits on us. The big question is whether the Unmatched cordless robotic cleaner delivers enough cleaning power and convenience to justify its price, or if it ends up being another gadget that gathers dust. That hesitation is real, especially when you factor in the risk of buying something that can't handle the size of your pool or that needs constant attention to keep running. Robotic pool cleaners have been around for a while, but the cordless version is a relatively new twist. Traditional plug-in units rely on a power cord that can tangle, limit reach, and sometimes even cause tripping hazards around the deck. A cordless robot promises true freedom. You set it down, let it wander, and it should keep cleaning without you having to worry about where the outlet is. That's a genuine selling point for families with kids or pets who don't want a long cord dragging across the pool deck. The Unmatched model touts unmatched cleaning power thanks to 3 brushless motors. In practice, that translates to stronger suction that can pick up sand, leaves, and even fine algae particles that a single motor unit might miss. I imagined a typical weekend scenario: a light rain the night before drops a thin film of debris across the surface, and a few leaves float around the edges. The robot's triple motor setup should, in theory, pull those particles into its filter without the owner having to intervene. For a pool that sees occasional debris, that extra suction can be a real time saver. Wall climbing is another claim the company makes, thanks to an enhanced roller that supposedly grips the pool walls and climbs them with ease. If you have a rectangular pool with steep sidewalls, a cleaner that can hug the corners is a big plus. In my mental test, I picture the robot starting in the shallow end, moving toward the wall, and then smoothly transitioning up the side to scrub the vertical surface before descending again. For pools with tiled or slightly textured walls, that ability can keep those hidden corners from becoming a breeding ground for algae. The runtime figure up to 150 minutes on a single charge sounds generous, but it's worth breaking down. A pool of 861 feet is the maximum size advertised, which is roughly a 12 by 30 foot in-ground pool. Running the robot for 2.5 hours would theoretically let it cover the entire surface a couple of times. In reality, the battery's effective time drops as the suction load increases. A pool with heavy leaf fall or a lot of fine silt will drain the battery faster. For a modest 10 by 20 foot above-ground pool, the 150-minute claim is more than enough to complete a full clean in one go. For larger in-ground pools, you might find yourself needing to pause, recharge, and restart, which can be a nuisance if you were hoping for a set-it-and-forget-it experience. Let's walk through a concrete use case. Imagine a family with a 12 by 24 foot above-ground pool that's used mainly on summer weekends. They have a few kids who love to splash, and after each session the water looks a little cloudy. Plugging in a traditional robot is a hassle because the deck is already cluttered with loungers, toys, and a barbecue. The Unmatched's cordless design lets them toss the unit into the water, press the start button, and walk away. After a 90-minute run, the water is clear, the filter bag is full of fine debris, and the battery still shows 30% life. In this scenario, the robot delivers exactly what the family needs: hands-free cleaning without wrestling with cords. Now consider a different scenario: a homeowner with a 30 by 40 foot in-ground pool that sees a lot of wind-blown leaves and occasional algae blooms. The same robot will start strong, but after about an hour the suction begins to feel weaker as the filter fills, and the battery indicator drops faster than expected. The user would have to stop, empty the filter, possibly replace the battery, and then let the robot finish the job. In this case, the convenience factor erodes, and the overall time saved isn't as dramatic as the marketing suggests. For larger pools with heavy debris, a higher capacity model with a longer battery life or a direct plug option might be a smarter investment. Maintenance is another practical factor. The brushless motors generate minimal heat, which is a nice technical detail because it means the unit stays cooler and consumes less power. However, any robotic cleaner requires regular filter cleaning and occasional checks on the brushes and wheels. The